All right, guys, welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am Candice Thompson. To my loyal listeners and subscribers, thank you for coming back. My new people, The Struggle is a podcast where I have my friends on and we talk about things that we struggle with normally, but in quarantine, we don't want to hear the depressing stuff. So we're just going to keep it light, talk about some topical things, and hopefully you get some laughs out of it. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms. We are also posting on YouTube now, my personal page. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe there if you want to watch. I'll be posting that link. Rate and review us on iTunes. And if you have not told somebody about The Struggle and you are listening or enjoying this regularly, do us all a solid and tell somebody. Now I'm going to introduce my co-host, my mobile co-host, the hilarious Mel Hall.
Hey everybody, I'm back. I know you missed me on the last episode. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you. Scheduling, you know how the quarantine goes. But I'm back and I'm still on social media at Mel Hall, where you can unfollow me because I believe that Black Lives Matter. And my YouTube is Mel Hall TV. And Candice, who is our guest?
Woo-hoo! I'm so excited to have this lady today. I would also like to say that she is the first, I don't know if you've noticed, Mel, but she is the first white person we've had on since the whole Black Lives Matter situation went down. So I would like to say welcome to my hilarious comedian friend, Lisa Curry.
Hey, thanks for having me, you guys. I feel so honored.
A lot of pressure, Lisa.
It's like you guys are just, I'm like a test run of white people. If I fuck it up, I fuck it up for all white people.
Correct.
If this doesn't go well, we're back to just all black guests.
Yeah, that kind of makes me want to burn it down. Just shut it down so no more white people come on.
You know I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Tushar, I had Tushar sing. I don't know if you know him, Mal. You know Tushar, but he lived in New York, comic in New York, and now he's actually in Alabama because everyone fled New York because they were like, why am I paying rent here if I could just go?
Yeah.
Nobody's here. I can't even work, so why am I here? But anyway, I had him on, and he's Indian. And so he was like, and I told him that my next guest was a white chick. And he was like, because he had gone through the other podcast and was like, he was like, do you only have black people on? And I was like, no, I have everybody on. But in this time of Black Lives Matter, I was like, I'm amplifying black voices right now.
Yeah.
I was like, that's why. And he was like, oh, I see. So I'm your transition. So it's just going to get, because he's fair, complex, a little brown, light-skinned brown. And he's like, transition. He's just going to get lighter every week.
I mean, the guest before Tushar was Freddie Lockhart, and he's half white, so it was like you brought it down a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Then to Tushar, and now full on Lisa.
Next week, I'm going to have albino guest Nate Hurd. Now. So stupid. Where can everyone find you, Lisa?
You can find me on Twitter at Lisa_Curry and on Instagram at Olympian Lisa Curry.
What is it like to have your brother be the greatest shooter of all time?
It's so good. Let me tell you, I love basketball, and I tweet at him constantly, and I'm like, hey, baby brother. Listen, we both have green eyes. It's not like I think I should sign up on Ancestry.com. Find out,
Find out.
Hey, and I'm sure Aisha Curry really appreciates you.
Yeah. Exactly.
She said she tweeted at him, not slid in the DM. So
yeah. Listen, I'm not trying to fuck. He's like 10 years younger than me or something.
Yeah, he's a child.
I'm just trying to claim him as like an extra sibling.
Family member, yeah.
So you can get in on the will. I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like everybody is related somehow. Like we're all at least going to be like at least 12 cousins to one another. Did you see when Larry David found out that he was related to Bernie Sanders?
I didn't. I heard about it, but I didn't watch that.
Yeah. He went on that Louis Gates show, whatever. I forget what it's called, but they do the ancestry.
Oh, who do you think you are?
I think that's what I think that is what it's called. And he played Bernie Sanders on SNL, and then found out that they're actually cousins.
I'm really curious to do that, but then I don't know, it still creeps me out. Like I just read last week that Blackwater bought Ancestry.com, and I'm like, no, thank you.
See, no. And I mean, yeah, I was already like, no. And I have family members that didn't. I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, no, I'm not. They're already listening to us, tracking us. Now you're volunteering your DNA to send it. No, they're going to be
thank you.
Of me running around somewhere. No. I mean, not bad.
We do need that. Yeah.
Actually. Wouldn't be fantastic.
This is amazing because if you see your coffee cup quickly, that just looks like it's Mal.
It is Mal.
That's great.
No soup for you.
No soup for you.
Hey, Lisa, you have an album that just came out.
I do.
What is it called and where can people find it?
It's called Alive for a While. It's out officially on iTunes on this coming Wednesday, the 2nd.
Nice.
September
Congrats.
2nd. And right now, all weekend, it's like playing, they're doing an exclusive release on Sirius Radio on Raw Dog.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So make
Thank
sure you
you.
guys check that out. Cop that. Lisa is very funny. I endorse that. And you worked with Jim Jeffries on his show.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked on that. I think that was the same time. You were on Lights Out at the same time, I believe.
Yeah.
We were in the same lot. That was a nice, what a good time that was.
A good
I miss
time.
it.
That was,
Yeah.
So I got some good news the other day.
Ooh.
Lights Out is going to be on Netflix.
Oh, hell yeah. That's great.
Yeah. I just found out. Like, we just got confirmation. Well, the showrunners knew for a while, but they had to they didn't want to tell everybody until everything was complete. Because this industry, they'll like say something is good and then the next week it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to give too much detail away, but we did find that information out. And so, yes, we are very excited. And I also would like to say that, just a disclaimer, that Netflix has to approve everybody. So all the writers that were on with Comedy Central, we all have to like resubmit our stuff to like Netflix people to get approved. So
so it won't just be the old episodes. It'll be brand new ones?
No. We're doing new. Yeah. They're completely,
hell yeah.
Yeah, they're completely redoing it. It's not, instead of every day, it's going to be once a week, and the panel lineups are going to be a little bit different as well.
That's so dope. I'm so happy for you. Good.
Thank you. Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody that was there before will come back. Because again, Netflix wants to be in charge of approving everybody. But yeah, I'm like, yay, good news, quarantine, good news. So
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Stay tuned for that, guys. All right. So as promised, I do want to talk about Mal's mustache for a second, because
as promised, this was teased in an earlier episode.
No, it wasn't.
We've been texting all week about this. It's pretty substantial. I think the thing is, it's so thick. Like usually a mustache, you see a little skin underneath, and this is just a total blackout.
Yeah.
That's a great way to describe it, because I'm so jealous of your facial in a way that I shouldn't be because I'm a woman, but like it's so luxurious and thick. Like if Pantene, like shampoo could do commercials for facial hair, like you would be their go-to because your hair is so thick. You could lather.
I do.
Deep
actually.
condition.
I don't deep condition. I do lather. Like when I shampoo I use Dr. Bronner's for my hair.
Yes.
And then I'll put some in my mustache as well, and I'll comb it out. I have a little comb. And I'll comb it out so I can trim it. I haven't trimmed it in a week, but I need to trim it so like it's shaped to my lip. But really, I'm just glad that my upper lip matches my upper eyeballs. You know what I mean? Like it's just copy and paste.
It looks like you are photoshopped. It's too precise. It's too perfect. It's so full. The color is so even.
And it wasn't like this mustache was like, Lisa, just so you know, when the quarantine started, I decided I was going to do a quarantine beard. So I was like, I'm not going to shave my beard until we can go back out in public. And that shit got like disgusting quick, right? So my facial hair comes in full. So it was like a full just beard. And I was like, my fiance was like, we have to get rid of that. So then I shaved the cheeks and I had just a full like goatee, like an aggressive goatee. And then I got tired of that, so I was going to shave it all off. And then I was shaving shapes into my facial hair. And then I got here and I was like, well, that is fucking hilarious. So I'm going to keep it. And so the mustache is here for a good time, not a long time. I don't think this is
yeah. It also is interesting because it looks like it continues way up into your nostrils. Into your nose. You know? So it like comes to these little points. It's almost like the old school Batman logo. You know, you just have to finish it at the bottom so it has little points.
It for sure wants to. It for sure wants to.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about growing this out so I can curl the end. And that'll be the next step of my cartoon facial hair. But it's like I wear a mask most of the time, so no one knows. It's just for.
Oh, put it on the draw it one. Put one on the outside.
On the outside of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look so much younger without it because you have these like these very young eyes, and then this just like crazy man mustache.
But he always had that he'll post a picture occasionally of him like when he was like 13 years old, and he had that same mustache.
Yeah.
He's always had that hair. It's ridiculous, but I love it. And
the story behind the mustache in high school was a single mom, and somebody told her that if boys shave their face too early, then their facial hair comes in patchy. So a rule in my mom's house was no shaving until I turned 18. So I just had the grossest like mustache, like chin hair action, like through high school. So obviously I didn't lose my virginity in high school because my mom had installed just like this fucking girl repeller right on my face.
Well, also because I feel like if you had tried to ask a 13-year-old girl out, their mom would be like, you're not going out with that 25-year-old.
Yeah, right?
That is inappropriate for that teacher to be asking you out.
You're like, just my facial hair.
Yeah. Lisa, you know basketball. I look like Walt Clyde Frazier when I was in 10th grade.
He does.
Oh, wow.
Just a gross mustache.
He does.
That's hilarious.
For sure you do. I wanted to ask, so you said you got rid of the beard because of Carlene. Is that correct? If she was not with you, would you have kept it? Oh no, is he frozen?
Oh, he's frozen. That's a hilarious look to be frozen.
Who froze, me or you?
You froze, Mel. You froze like this.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I did do the thing like when you're going through a red light that has a camera. Mm-hmm. When the thing froze, I was like, well, make a cool face just so it's...
Dude, I had a friend that went through a red light and ducked because she thought they wouldn't catch her. It's like, girl, your license plate, they send you the ticket via your license plate.
They have everything. You know how good they are? They tracked me down when I wasn't even living in LA and I was in a rental car.
Come on.
Wow.
I was out here years ago. This is me coming out here just to like get the lay of the land, figure out where I wanted to like live. I'm in a rental car, go through one of those red lights, and I saw a flash thing, and I was like, oh no, that can't be good. And I didn't even know what they were.
Paparazzi already? I'm not even famous.
I'm a store. Yeah, so I had no idea what it was, but I kind of knew that it couldn't be good. Months go by. I'm now living in LA. My dad calls me from Cincinnati, Ohio, was like, did you get a ticket? You have a ticket here for $350.
Good God.
And it was $350 back in like 2004, 2005. That's how expensive those things are.
So $3,000.
Seriously, no, you know why they got rid of those red light cameras? It's because nobody was paying them.
Oh, wow.
At one point, they got to be $600, $700. And it's like, why would and you don't, you technically don't. So they were basically costing the city more money to have them than what they were making.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, but back to my question. So if Carlene hadn't told you to give her the beard, would you still have it?
No, I was leaning towards getting rid of it because like food was getting in it, and
Yeah. Lisa, are you pro or anti facial hair for men?
It depends on the guy. I like it though, generally.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but should we have a say in our partner's appearances? Like if you're with someone and married, and not a boyfriend, but let's say you're married, like now you're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Should we have? Because this got me thinking. I was like, what if? Because Freddie Lockhart, who was on the podcast a couple weeks ago, at one point he has a really hefty beard, but at one point it was like down, and I was like, no. Oh, and I was very, and not, we weren't dating or anything. We just had a podcast together, and I was like, I don't like it. It's too much.
Yeah, I think like my ex had a beard, and it was different lengths, and it looked. I like the look of it a little bit more shorter, and if it would, but I didn't say anything. If it was a little longer, I didn't care. But I think if it was down to here, I'd be like, that's not appealing for me.
So do they have an obligation at that point to change it for you, or do you just?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the inverse of that. Like you and I have long hair, and we take care of our hair, and it's if we were with some dude and we were like, I'm just going to shave it off.
Yeah.
Bald. Yeah. I think it changes your attraction to a person.
Absolutely. I agree. And the same thing, if someone gained too much weight or lost too much weight and now I'm not attracted to you anymore, but then what if you're married to this person and you can't get out?
I don't know.
This is the superficial shit I be thinking about, okay?
I want a divorce. Why?
That's what I think. I got into an argument with a friend once because I'm like, I think it's important for me, for whoever I'm with, to be fit, but it's important for me to be fit. So I'm like, if I were to get married and my husband gained 70 pounds, I'd be like, you need to fucking reel it in, dude. Because
50 pounds is okay, bro.
Well, it's like you're breaking the contract. You're a different shape. You're no longer who I'm married.
Your body's not in different shape. You are physically, when I married you were like a rectangle, and now you are a rhombus. Okay? I am not.
I didn't want a rhombus. If I wanted a rhombus, I would have gotten one in the first place.
I'm not rhombosexual. Okay?
Carlene did start hinting. She's like, so how long are we going to do this goatee? And I was like, I don't know. It's still hilarious.
Which is such a great way to put it.
Yeah.
What's with this experiment?
How long is this going to go? But yeah. So now I have the mustache. My sister kept telling Carlene, she's like, I would make him shave it. And Carlene's not going to make me shave it. I don't think she cares that much. Yeah. She probably likes it, to be honest.
I mean, it is fun to look at. I just think with kissing and making out and stuff like that, it would just be a little much.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't do that anymore. We're getting married.
What is making out?
Yeah.
I remember making out.
Now we have a kid, and that's what happened the last time we made out, so we're never doing it again.
Dangerous.
It is dangerous. I'm not touching it. I don't know. I would probably break up. I'm petty, so I would probably break up with someone.
Yeah, I'm like, I won't make you do anything, but I will leave.
But I will leave you.
Goodbye.
It's not me, it's your facial hair.
It's your facial hair. You know, and I don't know if this is a flaw of mine, but I'm just overly considerate of other people's like feelings. So like I would want my partner to like still be like okay with me. So I would do whatever it was that they not too extremes. Like if I wanted to like cut my hair in a not drastic way, they would not have any say in that. Like but like I get the shaving of the head shit. Like if I came shaving my head off, I understand why that person might want to rethink what they've done.
Right.
So bold.
It's fair. It's fair.
It's fair, but a part of it is just like a couple is two people being who they want to be together.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, yo, here's fair warning. I'm getting ready to walk around with just the left side of my mustache, Carlene. So this is just what it's going to be. Yeah, the right side is coming off, but the left side will be around for a while. She's just going to have to deal with it.
She's going to have to take it. That's marriage. That's the deal. That's the difference between just dating somebody and being with someone and being like, I made a commitment to you. You are in this regardless.
Yeah.
This is why marriage is a scam.
Oh no. Marriage is trash.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I proposed to Carlene, by the way, is so she can't leave.
So she can't.
I can do all kinds of wild shit now, and I still got her.
You know what? If you really want to fuck with her, shave your eyebrows off. That's where you get her.
That's love.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. That's love. But also what you just said, Mal, is the reason why marriage was invented. You know that, right? It's so because women were considered property and men wanted them to just be there so that they could raise their kids, cook, take care of the house. We were property. So it's like that's literally the only reason why they did it. So I could say, I own you. You can't leave. So it's good to see that it's come full circle for you.
Well, mine is a little bit less malicious than that. So she still has rights and stuff. It's like I'm not asking her to not speak.
But she will be having all my kids.
I like rights and stuff because it sounds like a hypothetical. Like, she could have rights.
She could. Are you do you want to get married, Lisa?
I don't know. I kind of don't think so. I like being alone. I like doing my own thing.
So do I.
It's nice. It's really nice to not have to navigate somebody else's bullshit and it's a lot. And like the last guy I dated he's such a great guy. I mean, he'll make a great husband someday to whomever. But I just was like, I like it to be quiet in the morning. I want to do my morning pages and have coffee and breakfast. And I don't want somebody to be like, hey, good morning. Maybe go away.
I'm so happy
I hate it.
We're similar. I thought I was just a bad person.
That's what I'm like, this doesn't, I think also I'm trying to sort out for myself, do I want a relationship or am I socialized to think that I want a relationship? Because I'm like, I don't even think I want that. And the more I talk to my girlfriends, so many of them feel the same way where they're like, I'm realizing I don't even want that. And I'm like, who do I really admire? I'm like, Amy Sedaris seems like she has a really dope life. And she's like, yeah, I'm 60 and I'm single and I don't want to be with anyone. And I've got my cool house and I have a TV show. And
she's
never
wanted to get married. I love that. And she's definitely one of my comedic inspirations. I've loved her since Strangers with Candy back in the 90s. But I was talking with Tushar last week. We were talking about that Netflix show, the arranged Indian matchmaking. That was one of the topics we talked about. He's Indian. I was like, I would like to know your perspective on this. And the arranged marriage. I'm sorry, Mel. I'm not talking about this to make you feel bad about getting married. This was just generally.
Yeah. I'm stoked for you. I'm really excited about the break wall you're building or whatever to contain your family.
I'm getting tips though from you guys. I know now that when I wake up in the morning, not to say shit. Don't greet. Don't be cordial. Just fucking wake up, shut the fuck up and get out of here. Okay, cool. Got it.
Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving.
If I want this to last, I need to just fucking pretend like she's not there.
Yeah. I also know so many people that have kids that are not selling it for me. You know?
I know.
Where they're every day is hell and it's a blessing. And I'm like, I feel like one of those statements is a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Those
people are... Nat, my manager, literally just texted me yesterday. She's with her friend right now who is in San Diego or Orange County, one of the two, I can't remember. I don't be listening when people be talking. So she's somewhere down south and her friend has kids, but her husband is away for work for months. And she was like, I'm going to go down and help her out while I can. And she just texted me yesterday, kids are terrible, in caps. And I was like, no shit, Sherlock. What are you new? It's why I don't have any and don't plan on having. And not again, Mel, not to kid shame you. You have a child.
Do you feel, here's the thing, here's what's fucked up. And this is this is the most egomaniacal thing ever. I'm I don't think I want kids. I'm 99% sure I don't want kids. Yeah. But then I'm my kids would be dope. I'm dope. Do you ever think that, Candice? Or you ever God, I'd have some good looking kids. They'd be smart and funny.
Of course. But even And here's the thing, Lisa, is that I think that is why most people have kids, which is why I'm so like, stop having motherfucking kids. Yeah. Every kid should be an accident. That's how, Mal, you and Carlene did it right, because y'all were just fucking around and accidentally got pregnant. And it's like, that's what should happen. But anyone who's planning to have kids, you're an asshole. You are an asshole. You're just like, oh, I want to see a mini me. Yeah. The girl needs more of me. And it is. People think we're selfish. And I'm like, so single people who don't want kids, women that don't, that's not selfish. It's selfish to say, I want to bring somebody here who didn't ask to fucking be here, especially in this world where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive next week because I might get shot by the cops. I might die of COVID. And then we got Trump as president. We got another bullshit candidate. Like, what is happening? I don't know if tomorrow's promised anybody, but let me bring somebody.
Well, that, and also like being single and childless, like you have more to give to other kids. Like I can absolutely be there more for like my nieces and nephews, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not doing
so
that.
You're actually selfish, Mal.
No, he had him accidentally, which is how I think every kid should be an accident.
This kid fought through the contraception, so he is here for a reason.
Yes.
Also,
the kid is a fucking warrior.
Also, he is smart and cute.
He's adorable.
And dope. Yeah. On accident.
He needs to be here. But also, I also have complete faith in Mal and Carlene in raising a good person. Both of them are dope ass people. Where I will go ahead and say most people are not. Most people are not. They're not there. They're not going to love their kid the way they deserve to be loved. Yeah. And there is like controversy with that, in that I think like, people that have love from their parents can grow up to be great people, but they can also turn out to be assholes. And then people who didn't have great parents can also turn out to be great people. So it is, we're all shooting in the dark. And I do think that like our spirits come from like past lives and shit like that. And we all come to this earth with information, and our spirits are just who they are regardless of how you get raised. But like, I just think that kids, man, it's just, I don't want that responsibility, because I don't have confidence in myself to know that I would raise a good person that would be like productive, because I'm so focused on career.
Mine is much more selfish than that. I'm like, I love to travel. I want to go fuck off with my friends, and I do. So many of my friends are like, I wish I would have gone skydiving before I had kids, but now I'm a mom, and what if I die? And I'm like, go. Just fucking do the thing.
I mean, but people, that's how, people without kids live their lives the same way though. What if X, Y, and Z happen?
For sure.
Without thinking about the opposite? What if fucking I just have the best time of my life, and it's a memory I have forever? Like most people are programmed to look at the worst. My mom is like that. Worst possible outcome is the only outcome that's gonna happen, and then it never fucking happens, because that's not how life works.
Right. Yeah.
Like I haven't been skydiving. It's funny you brought that up. My brother Mahira just went skydiving a few weeks ago, and I'm like, that still looks fun to me. I'll still like go do that, like 75%, 80% in. Gonna do it. Like it doesn't, I don't know.
You can't live your life in fear. Like that's just not the way to operate. And I think when you do start making decisions based off fear, like your worst fear will come true. So like you just gotta live your life. And I understand.
You're manifesting it.
Exactly. And so I am a huge fan of just do what you was going to do anyway. Just do it. Like, you're going to be worse. I would not recommend you and Carlene both skydiving together. You go first, you land, and then Carlene can jump, and then we'll take it from there.
Hey, I found a double tandem jump on Groupon. $8. Let's go.
$8.
Or you guys go take the kid with you, so then that way,
strap him on,
whatever happens to one happens to all three of
you. I think I like that one the best. Speaking of children and how crazy this world is, so now we've got confirmation from the Pentagon that there are aliens.
Speaking of children?
Well, I've always, because you have kids now, and we now are cohabitating with aliens. They've confirmed it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? I assume they were there too. I agree.
It's like, it's so crazy to think, and it feels like an ego thing to think like there's this great big universe out there and we're the only living organisms. Get the fuck out. There's no way. It doesn't, like, mathematically that doesn't make sense because the universe is so expanse. Obviously there's more shit out there.
Should we be scared is my question. Do we think they're going to be the aliens from Independence Day with Will Smith?
I feel like I'm not scared. I feel like if they are smart enough if they have the technology to fuck with us or contact us, they would have already done it. I think they might be watching us like, no, we don't want to. We don't want any.
We don't want to. Okay, so
they're on our hands.
So there's this guy, and I forget what his name is. I should have looked it up and written it down. I'll look it up and then post it when I post the episode. But there's a guy who worked for the government who came out years ago because he was a whistleblower because they were saying that aliens didn't exist. And this guy came forward and was like, no, I had an experience with one. And this is what I do. Smart guy. Like, he was in some top secret shit. And he's dead now. Well, he died not long after he came out and said there's aliens and told everybody what happened. His video is on YouTube. He's speaking to a crowd and he's talking about his experience with, and his hand is gone. The alien blew off his hand.
What?
Yeah. I'll send you guys the link. And
Bob Lazar?
Not
That's
Bob
wild.
Lazar. Bob Lazar. Is that the guy that came out saying he had sex with Barack Obama?
What?
Huh?
There's a whole, you guys, I could have sworn that was Bob Lazar. I might be making that up. I think Jeffries? Oh, no. I can't remember the guy's name. It's going to bother me.
Huh.
It's on YouTube.
I had a teacher in high school who taught, like, he was my Algebra 2 teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it called? Unreal numbers or invisible numbers or whatever?
I remember.
I think it's invisible numbers.
Uh-huh.
So we get to that part of the semester, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he puts the formula up on the board and he turns around to the class dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, this is the formula for invisible numbers. And he's like, it's also the formula that aliens use to take me into the fourth dimension. And I was like, what? I scream laughing. I like lost my mind laughing. And he's like, you think this is a joke, Miss Curry? You think this is a joke? And I was like, what? This is insane. What are you talking about? And I remember this girl, Heather, she was like the popular girl in school, whatever. She sat in front of me and she turned around and she was like, you are such a bitch, Lisa. And I'm like, what? This is crazy. And then he like showed us all these drawings that his kid did. And he's like, I think my kid was abducted too. And he like goes to all these conventions. And I went down to the counselor's office after class and I was like, I gotta switch teachers. Mr. Johnson just told us he was abducted by aliens. And the counselor was like, what? Like, didn't believe me. And they're like, you're not switching teachers. I was like, then I'm dropping at, I don't care. I'll take a fucking art class. I have enough math credits to graduate. I don't care. And I made my friend, Pam Walt?
Yes.
We were on the road together a couple of years ago and I was telling her about it and we looked him up and she found him and he's connected to all these like alien groups. It's really wild. I was like, he's still at it. I didn't make this up.
Well, I bet it happened to him.
I mean, now I'm like, maybe.
Oh, for sure. Where did he live? Did he grow up in, I mean,
I lived in Indiana. And so he was actively being abducted while teaching class and coaching basketball.
He's like, no homework this weekend. I think I'm getting abducted. I'm not going to have any time to grade papers.
So sorry about the late grades. I was anally probed all weekend.
Sorry, guys. My ass is just on fire. You're going to have a substitute for the next week. Yeah, no, but where is that? the place, they had a show about it, and it's in New Mexico where they normally have
Area 51.
Yeah, no, it's a city.
No, I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember, but
no, and that's just real. Like my friend was telling me, his sister used to live in that area, and they would all the locals knew they were aliens. Like they would see lights in the sky, they would get in formations, and that's just what happened. They had a show of it. Roswell.
Yes. And when you're driving through, there's billboards up, and it's like they're really silly about it. They're like alien jerky for sale, next stop, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, but they joke, but it's real. That's just real. I found the guy. His name is Phil Schneider.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Phil Schneider. Look him up on YouTube. He does a whole speech about what happened to him, and his hand is gone. Like, and it doesn't look like a regular, like, it looks like some alien shot off his hand. He has like 2 fingers, the rest are like nubs. And he shot them first, and he said they fired back with like they were like these gray images. They didn't have weapons, but it was like their hand just kind of turned into like laser something and
weird.
Shot off. Yeah. And then he died not long after that.
You know what's fascinating? I mean, like, whatever, I might sound crazy, but I think we always think of aliens as more advanced technologically, and I'm like, what if they exist and they are more advanced technologically, like what do we have left to discover as humans? Is time travel real? Can you bring people back from the dead? Like what have they accessed that we haven't been able to figure out yet? And like what gives us limitations when they don't have limitations?
Well, Lisa, the good news is we're about to find out. Because they here, all right?
Okay.
And like Tiffany Haddish, they ready, all right? They about to show us everything they can do. Here's the thing is that I also am like, do we think that they've been walking amongst us? Like, do we think that they can like shape shift? Do we think that they are out here mimicking what we look like, and that we may have been in contact with these dudes?
You know what? The logic part of my brain wants to say no,
right?
But then my heart wants to say yes, because I'm like, I don't want to continue accepting that Donald Trump is a human being that walks amongst us. I would be much more comfortable thinking that this is like a cursed being from another realm, you know? Then I'm like, okay, well that I can accept.
He's a pod this whole time. He's just got a pod.
There's just a little guy in his head.
Yeah.
He just came here to troll everybody. That's all.
It would make sense with his speech patterns. They're not human speech patterns.
But guys, Kofefe. So anyway, okay, so we're talking about aliens, and it also made me think, but I've also been thinking about attempting to go on this because I've been going down so many rabbit holes in quarantine, is the dark web. Have any of you guys ever accessed the dark web or know anyone that's like frequents the dark web?
Not to my knowledge.
No?
The dark web for me is just like a sail that I can't pass up.
That I can't escape from.
What? I'm just curious as to what, I mean, I know they sell drugs, and I know there's probably like child trafficking and shit that happens on there, but is there anything for people like us on there? Is there anything that's just entertaining?
Drugs and child trafficking.
You just said it.
I said I don't want to have kids. Not that I wouldn't purchase a child.
Buy them. Let's go on Wayfair.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I ever thought of it as like an actual thing, because in my mind, I'm like, I mean, is it like a website? Is it HTML, or is it like really flashy with buttons? Yeah, is it user friendly?
I don't know.
I think it's.
Go ahead.
I think it's only for advanced computer science people, because like most people don't know how to turn off Siri on their phone. How are they going to access the dark web? You know, it's like every time you see the dark web in movies, it's like a guy with multiple keyboards that is like,
yeah, and it's like all green type, and I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how to read the Matrix, so no, Candice. I haven't been on the dark web.
I can't even guess a password. I don't know my own password, let alone guessing someone else's.
I bring this up because like my friend Brenda, who comes, well, she goes by Brando now. That's a whole conversation. She's not transitioning. She just she's always hated her name Brenda.
All right. Okay.
By Brando. Anyway, so we were talking. She comes over here regularly, and we go down our little conspiracy rabbit holes and whatever. And we were getting like tapped out on the stories that we could find, and we were just like, I guess, desensitized. So I was like, we already know all this stuff. Like, we need some new conspiracies, and we need to go deeper. So she was like, how do we get on the dark web? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm curious to find out. And we actually started to try and watch like YouTube videos about it. But like you said, Mel, it was like, even when someone's telling me what to do, I don't know the words that are coming out of your mouth. I don't understand. And I do know, I started rewatching House of Cards because I really enjoyed that show, but until it started getting bad towards the end. And then also we all know what happened to Kevin Spacey, that awful devil person. But anyway, on one of the episodes, they have a hacker guy, and he's meeting with another guy who wants information, and he's like, he was like, I want to find out how to find another hacker guy, and he was like, well, you got to go on the dark web, and then he started telling him how to do it, and I was like, I'm never gonna find it. I was like, if this is what it really is, I was like, I just got to give up hope on.
See, yeah, I picture it as like a Facebook with like an extra password you have to have from a friend to access it or something. Just like, what if it is just like a cheerful thing like that, you know?
Can't you just go to darkweb.com?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's a child for sale and you put a little emoji, you're like, yeah, like it.
The darkweb.biz.
Also, Candice, like when kids are for sale, this is
yes.
People that are buying kids on the dark web for whatever.
Yeah.
Do they have a preference? Is there like a breakdown like you have for a dog from a shelter, like age, weight, breed, whatever? No, or is it just like, here's a faceless child. Do you want it or not?
No,
you know?
I think they have preferences.
And when said child is delivered, do you have to sign for the package, or did they give you a delivery window?
This is what's slowing down the USPS. There's so many kids in transit.
And still, like, no media coverage. Like, there's nothing. This is like such a huge problem, and nobody's talking. And it's because all these fucking elite politicians are tied to it, but no one wants to talk about that because Hillary Clinton will kill them. But anyway, so there's, I do believe there are, like, it's like fetish stuff. So it's like, and why there's different prices for different ones. It's like, this Asian girl will cost this much, but this black girl will cost this much. So it's like, I think it is like, it's, if you're into kids, you have preferences for sure. That's disgusting.
Here's another thing. Like, okay, like, where are these kids being held? They're probably not being taken care of very well. Like, what if you buy a kid and it shows up and it's got chiggers or something? Like, what do you do?
Lisa wants to know the return policy.
See? On this child. Worry about that with adopting kids.
Yeah.
Because I've thought about that too. Like, maybe I don't want to have kids, but maybe I'll adopt a kid. But then it's like, it's a rescue. It literally is a rescue. You don't know what their past has been. Now I got to raise this kid, and now they flinch every time. I'm like, good morning. And I'm like, right? Like,
that's and it's a red flag for the orphanage too when you ask. First question, what's your return policy?
Yeah.
Now, is it 30 days, no questions asked, and then 60 with the receipt? How does this work?
It's a hefty investment. It should be at least 6 months. At least 6 months to a year. I should be able to.
Yeah.
They did just find, I saw this on Twitter. Somebody tweeted it. 39 kids were found. 39 missing kids were just found. And I'm like, why? I forget where. I have to look.
You know what's fucked? Remember when those girls went missing? What fucking country was that from? A handful of years ago, and everybody was like, hashtag bring back the girls.
Yes.
It's like, I read up on that, and apparently that number of girls goes missing from that area constantly because it's just like a big human trafficking area.
Yeah.
And they all get sent to Italy because prostitution is legal in Italy. So they like sell them off.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like you can, this is really sad, but like you can capture them and return them home, but they're going to be trafficked again because that's the only way for people in that area to make money. So it's like, unless you bring in another industry, this problem is going to keep going and going. So it's like, it's kind of this empty thing where it's like, well, bring them back. And then what? And then they get shipped off again.
Yeah, no, it's awful. And again, and why the fact that like, cause this happens all the time and it's a huge problem. Hundreds of thousands of kids go missing. They're missing right now and we're not talking about it. Mm-hmm. But when we grew up and we saw kids missing on those milk cartons, we all thought in our head like, oh, that was just a local pedophile. No, like, there are elite people doing this.
This is where the aliens come in too.
This is where the aliens come in.
They're coming down. They're sucking up kids into like a tube in a spacecraft, and then they fly off.
Lisa's math teacher isn't teaching them math in space, and they get beamed back down. And those are the fucking people that don't tip.
They get beamed back down, and that's how we get Elon Musk, is somebody that spent years in space.
Oh, someone probed him for sure.
Sure. You don't have a face like that if you weren't probed.
Did you see what he named his kid?
I did, and it gave me a headache, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's like an equation.
It's a serial number.
Is that what it was? I forget exactly, but it was a serial number?
It's some weird, it's
like an equation. It's like X, something you can't even pronounce.
And Brenda's mad about her name. Get out of here.
Elon Musk is going to have the richest kid with no friends.
Right. Yeah. This is,
Mom, I want to go over to R2D2's house.
R2D2. I'm debating. I'm like, which do I? Because we have like about 15 minutes left. Macaulay Culkin made us feel really old. Did you guys see his tweet?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Macaulay Culkin is 40. You guys. Yeah. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone, is 40 years old.
Kevin McAllister
is 40 years old, guys. And it's almost September.
Yeah.
Saying revelations that are just like, what the fuck? This year's done, and Macaulay Culkin is 40 years old. That's all. We don't have to discuss. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware that Macaulay Culkin is 40 years old. This one's gonna be good. I want to talk about.
Is Macaulay Culkin just rich from Home Alone?
I mean, it was also Home Alone 2.
Dumb question.
I mean, it was a franchise.
And also My Girl.
Oh yeah,
that was a big one.
I forgot he was in that. Yeah.
He I think is silent now. Well, not silent. I shouldn't say silent because he's not silent. He's actually very vocal about the sex trafficking and pedophilia that happens in Hollywood, which is why I think he stepped away from it. I don't know any facts about this, but for sure, I'm sure something probably happened to him or he witnessed. He talked about when a huge producer was telling him, basically was having a conversation. There's a whole article about this. Was having a conversation with this movie producer when he was a kid, like 11 years old, and the guy basically was like, "You know what happened to Heather O'Rourke, right? And that's the girl from Poltergeist who died. She died, definitely because of some shady shit, accusations of pedophilia, accusations about really big movie producers that we have loved since we were kids, and." This movie producer, like, you know what happened to her, right? Basically saying, if you don't do what we do, the same shit's going to happen to you.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, no, he said this in an article. It's like online. You can look it up. But so he stepped away and is kind of more not in the limelight because of that shit. And so, no, it's awful. Again, and it's all that Hollywood shit, the political shit, they're all connected and all the pedophile stuff. But I want to talk about, because I've talked about pedophilia so much on this podcast. I'm on somebody's list for sure. I'm about to be on somebody's no-fly list. Terry Crews. So Terry Crews, who we all love to hate right now. He just is in his own world, and he's been controversial because of his tweets. Like, opposing Black Lives Matter, which is interesting because he's a Black person. But he also has been getting a lot of heat because he just, for some reason, it seems like he just doesn't care about Black women. And staying in line with that, he posted a tweet trying to get Magic City in Atlanta, which is a strip club in Atlanta. He said, we need to boycott Magic City, which created a whole uproar on Twitter again, because people are like, yeah, like, why are you, because that employs Black women. If you've ever been there, you know, that's how some of these women, they support.
Wait, what was his reasoning?
Yeah.
He didn't say, he did come out apologizing, saying he shouldn't have said it, but here's the thing. Yeah, it didn't, and he deleted it, so I couldn't even see the tweet where he said it. But to me, what I think, and this is just me putting myself in someone else's shoes who kind of maybe understands what he's talking about, only because it's just an exaggerated version of like how I felt about the WAP video. And like sexually exploiting Black women. It's like, you have to realize that you could do something better with yourself. Like that is, and to me, we talked about the WAP video, Mal, when Freddie was on. And it's like, I understand why people are saying it's under the label of like feminism, but at the same time, it's so, there's a gray area and a slippery slope where you could say this is about empowering women. And when
very slippery.
Very.
Well, I think that's like a thing where it depends on
whack.
Yeah, on how each person interprets it. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of reminds me of the Chappelle stuff when he walked away from Chappelle's show. It's like, a lot of people were laughing with him, and also some people were laughing at him. And it's like, do you pull it and stop people? The only way to stop people from laughing at you is to shut the whole thing down so nobody can also laugh with you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
absolutely.
But it's like, what? I don't disagree with his decision to do that.
Right.
I get it. But then it's like, well, do you not put out material that you want to put out because of how some people react to it?
That's something that we're all artists, so we all have thought about, like, should we have a social responsibility to like make sure the young people that are listening to the stuff, that the products that we put out, do we have a responsibility to make sure that we're not leading these kids astray? Because we have to think about, and I think, and this is to each his own, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And I also think it's kind of unfair to say someone has that responsibility just because they are an artist, to make sure they're putting out a message that is palatable for everybody. So I don't think that's fair either. This is just my personal perspective and how I was raised and what I would know I would want, what I think is beneficial for children to hear is, I would want something a little bit more wholesome, because so many kids don't have good parents. I know that I was raised with good parents. So even if I was watching a WAP video when I was 7 years old, and kids have so much more access than we did when we were kids, you know, a WAP video will come on after a fucking Disney thing they're watching on, you know, and it's like, I didn't want this to happen, but your kids look
WAP, but it's sister. It's fucking Tia and Tamara.
Look, I didn't know. I mean, Disney's also, is also part of the problem because of their content that they have subliminally, which we've talked about on this podcast as well. But it's like, you don't have control of what your kids are watching necessarily anymore. So it's like, I would, in a perfect world, we'd say, yes, they would watch the WAP video when they're 21 years old or 18 years old, when they at least hopefully are a person enough and have enough qualities and they have enough character to know that this is an imaginary world that these pop stars are living in, and that you don't have to or shouldn't behave like that because, it's not necessarily beneficial for you as a woman to live your life with your titties hanging out, because you're gonna get objectified. That's just, we get objectified when we're wearing sweatpants and looking a mess. So I understand it, and I'm speaking for Terry Crews at this point, I guess, because I don't know why he tweeted that, but I'm guessing it came from like he did. I think he tweeted #Black Love Matters. So I think what he was trying to say is we need to work on the Black family unit, and being in strip clubs is not conducive to that.
I do feel like what really sucks about that is I feel like, as the white person here.
Yeah. Let me interrupt just for 1 second. I'm not one of those people that's like, you're not Black, you can't speak on this. Okay. Everyone has an opinion. Right. Everyone has an opinion. You are entitled to your opinion. There you go.
What sucks is, okay, so I grew up in Indiana, a lot of racists there, and even though it's well-intentioned when somebody like Terry Crews says, hey, what's up, Black community? This is what we need to do. We need to make sure, blah, blah, blah. Him saying that publicly, it's almost like he can only say that privately to Black people, because him saying that publicly allows racist white people to point to that and be like, see, they should be doing better. That's their own community. And it's like, fuck, that's not, it's so frustrating, because it's like, how do you get that message out? If that's how he feels, how do you say that without giving then racists permission to jump on and say, well, that's see, he said it, you know?
Yeah, no. Well, Lisa, you should be invited to some of our Black meetings, because what you said is that's what I think a lot of Black people's response is that that's between us. We have these conversations in our meetings. We don't need to air our laundry in front of white people, because a lot of white people do think that this is why we can't do better. And so and I think that is why he gets a lot of slack, but I also think it is out of ignorance as well, where people are just like, you just hate Black women. And it's like, I don't think he hates Black women. I think what he is trying to say is he's, like a lot of people, tired of all this arguing back and forth. Like, all this argument is doing is creating more division when we need to unite. And so, like, when he's talking about the protesting and stuff, like, yes, the protesting is necessary, but I also understand that he might be coming from a place of peace, and he just wants everybody to come together. But I think I think he's not being pragmatic, in that I think that it has to get worse before it gets better. And you can't discount and say,
well, you can't just ask for peace, you know?
Exactly. And just because it hasn't happened to him, he lives this celebrity lifestyle that so many Black people do not have access to. The same way Kanye can be irresponsible by speaking from a point of view that's like, I'm up here, but you got to think about these people that are down here who, if they get pulled over by the cops, could potentially get shot. They're not going to shoot you, Kanye or Terry Crews, but you know, and so he does have a social responsibility. But I think it should be a private conversation.
There are other people.
Oh, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I hate Zoom so much.
There are people too, though, that are like, well, if white people could have strip clubs, how come we can't have our strip club? And we're just doing it. Yeah. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't know why that thought was just going through my head the entire time. It's like, some people just go like, this is a Black business, basically. These people, they're all 1099 for their dance or whatever, and they're just trying to make a living.
They have to fill out a 1099 per dance.
Per dance.
So much paperwork. Just hours of paperwork.
Yes, you can get a lap dance, but first I need a W-9.
But first I need you to fill out a QuickBooks profile.
It is a business, and you think about that. It's like boycott, and now you're taking out a Black business, which is not doing anything illegal. They are doing something completely legal, and I think it is coming from a spirit. It might be coming from a spiritual place where it's like he doesn't endorse that type of behavior, which is fine. But understand, if you put that opinion out there, you're going to get some backlash because not everybody agrees with you.
Yeah. It's also like, rather than say, hey, that thing over there is not good, instead use that energy and your platform to highlight something that you think is good, and put your energy behind that and promote that, because I think that speaks a lot louder than just cutting something else down. You know?
I agree. And also, if you're going to put something so controversial of an opinion out there and you're in that status, like, explain yourself. Like, you can't just say a statement.
It can't just be a tweet.
Like boycott Magic City, and then That's it. Hashtag Black Lives Matter and be out. But like, you need to say, this is why I think we need to do better. But also then address, it's not just Magic City. I have a problem with these white strip clubs. I have a problem with porn. I have a problem with all these things that are the devil's work, right?
My dick doesn't work. I'm mad about it.
I'm married. I'm not allowed to go to strip clubs anymore. Shut them all down. See, we got to wrap this up, but really quickly, I have a quick, I've been to Magic City. I went to Magic City once, and so it holds a special place in my heart. Because I had always heard about Magic City, and it's also talked about by rappers or whoever. I think Bill Maher frequented Magic City. Bill Maher's got a thing for black chicks, and I heard on the low he likes going there and requesting certain types of women. But I got a lap dance there. I went there when I was taping Roast Battle in Atlanta for Comedy Central, and Jeff Ross took us all to the strip club, and he paid for one of the strippers to give me a lap dance. Her name was Passion. It just came. I was like, was it Precious? No, it was Passion. And I was very nervous about her because I had on jeans, and she just had her, she had like a thong on or whatever. What?
Would you rather have just bare legs?
No, no. Great question. No. I also did not want her pussy juice on my denim.
Yeah.
So she was like, and I said that to like somebody, and I think she overheard me, and she was like, I'm going to keep my panties on for you because I know you're concerned.
Wow.
Passion?
That's like, I'm on the road. I don't have a washer. I can't, like, I'm wearing these jeans all week.
That was literally the thought that I had. I was like, I'm in a hotel, and these are also expensive denim. Like, I'm not pussy juice.
I'm not hand washing somebody else's pussy juice off of my jeans.
I don't want your wax.
I thought you were going to say, she said, don't worry, we'll Scotch guard your pants first.
Yeah. She puts down a blanket.
It'll just beat up and roll off the side of your jeans. Don't worry, girl. It's like, I'll pay for your dry cleaning. Don't you worry. So ridiculous. And I also wanted to say about this, and then we gotta wrap it up. My computer might die. I'm just gonna put that out. Oh no, we're almost done. I just wanted to say that in the article that I read about the Terry Crews things, that it mentioned Magic City, the strip club, that is also known for its wings. Wings.
Amazing.
Lou Williams.
Because who doesn't like to have their hands covered in fucking hot sauce? And then now the asses are covered in hot sauce. Yeah. The Lou Williams, who's like one of the top scorers for the Clippers, got in big trouble recently because he left the bubble in Orlando, went to like a funeral, and then he was photographed outside of Magic City talking about, he is quoted, the wings from Magic City are his favorite food in the world. All right. In the world. And he was photographed outside of Magic City getting wings on his way back to the bubble in Orlando. Hilarious. He didn't even go in for the titties. He literally just called in an order, went in, picked it up, and came back out. Yeah. That's brilliant. I've always heard that. Good. No, I've heard strip club food in general is usually decent. Like, I've heard people talk about strip club buffets. And I'm like, maybe I should just try it. No vegan options, probably. No. I don't know. Yeah, probably no raw vegan. Probably no acai bowl. Yeah. Probably no raw vegan. There's raw stuff happening there, but not food. Yeah. Yeah, this was delightful. I'm so happy that you were able to make it. Mal, where can people find you? At Mal Hall TV on YouTube. I'm posting videos kind of now, so check it out. Check it out. And Lisa, one more time, tell people what your album is, where they can find it, and how to follow you on social media. Oh yeah, my album is called Alive for a While. It's my first album. I recorded it in London. It will be up on iTunes Wednesday, September 2nd. And because it's my LA anniversary. And you can find me on Twitter at Lisa_Curry or Instagram at Olympian Lisa Curry. Yay! Follow both of these seriously funny people. I'm so happy they were here. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms.
And I'm posting on YouTube now, my personal YouTube page. So go and subscribe there to watch and rate and review us on iTunes. And last but not least, if you are listening to this regularly and enjoying it, pay it forward. Even if you're not enjoying it, tell somebody. You don't know. Just because you might enjoy it. Doesn't mean they're not going to enjoy it. You don't know. Who you think you are telling people what they're going to enjoy? You might be blocking someone's blessing. So anyway, you can find me on social media at Jokes by Candice. Till next time, this has been great. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Later.
You're welcome.